And similarly with stories like this, when we got all this mythology, I'm normally like, why do I care?
Why do you need the myth?
Make me.
Yeah.
Like, why do we have this? What does it matter? Like, you don't have to make me care. I'm not going to do it for you. So with Watership Down, and I'm like, fun story. And by the end, I'm like, congrats.
Nailed it.
You nailed that. I was commenting on the fact that, like, it starts with a small fantastical element, and then it builds out the whole mythos. In a way that
the mythos is pretty cool, too.
It's really cool.
Which you don't expect from, like, a bunny.
Uh-huh. When you start, you're like, aw, bunnies. And when you end, you're like, oh my gosh, bunnies.
I think that's an accurate representation.
It is.
Come and see the violence inherent in the system! Help! Help! I'm being repressed! Bloody peasant! Oh, what a giveaway. Did you hear that? Did you hear that, eh? That's what I'm on about. Did you see him repressing me? You saw it, didn't you?
Welcome back to Help We're Being Repressed. It is still the Christmas season, but 2 days of rain absolutely obliterated the snow here.
Not here. However, here it's not Christmas season.
Why is it not Christmas season?
It's final season.
But final season around the birthday of our Lord.
He
so
takes
still
a week
Christmas.
Off. Advent is just halted for a week until we escape.
How many more
the
you
gloom.
have left?
Only one.
You go, girl. And yeah, so this is our last Zoom one before we get a couple more in person, which should be fun.
Huzzah. We should just record like a ridiculous amount on one day, like go back to back, and then
back to back. Everybody's like, why are they wearing the same outfit as everyone? It's like we just talked for 24 hours straight.
We'll bring shirts to change, and then I don't have to do Zoom.
And then I don't have to do Zoom, more like.
True.
Well, anywho, today we wanted to talk about an old favorite novel of mine. Not my very favorite, but one of my.
What's your favorite?
I don't know.
Very favorite.
I don't know, man. There's a bit of competition. Though maybe that's a podcast episode sometime if we try to like rank favorites. There's a couple that are up there, but this is in the running, but it's probably not the top spot. Running. We got ourselves a runner-up. Watership Down.
It's a good book.
So we are not here to talk about the traumatizing cartoon movie, nor the show.
Did you watch
nor the graphic novel? No, but just before now, Elliot asked me if we were talking about the movie, and I was like, what movie? And I Googled it, and apparently it was scarring for a lot of people, because this book, fabulous as it is not really the stuff of Disney films.
No, it's stuff of nightmares.
It is, but we love to see it. But it's a little too gory, and apparently that's how the movie turned out.
Maybe like
so we're not
films?
talking about because even old Disney cartoons, like even if they had death, they didn't have blood.
Okay, fair enough.
It's more the anime style with like the ooey gooey blood.
Gross. Yeah.
But
unnecessary.
So it's not really the stuff for Disney cartoons. But it is a great book. So we're not talking about any other renditions. We're just going to take it to the novel. Anywho, is it among your runners-up, or is it just a good book to you?
No idea.
You're useless.
I don't know. I haven't like.
Why do you even have a podcast?
I mean, when it comes to like top novels, I'm not sure, because I've read.
It's hard to rank.
I've read a whole lot, and a lot of them just are doing very different things.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to compare things in completely different genres.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, technically this one's a novel, and that one, like, Watership Down, it's a novel, and then I'm like, okay, Farewell to Arms, also a novel.
Technically.
It's like,
they're not really
purpose
comparable.
of the book is entirely different. So it's hard to, like, actually do a solid ranking system when
like
you don't.
Which do you like better?
So it's like, okay,
Crime and Punishment or Going Postal? And it's like,
No,
See,
I don't know.
But when it comes to favorites, when I just rank my own favorites, I normally just roll with what calls me back. So that's totally different than what do I think was amazing. Because there are some things that I would gush over, but I'm not going to like be revisiting all the time. So
it's why Gladiator's probably your favorite movie.
So like Gladiator's my favorite movie. And I could just return to that however many times. And anytime somebody's like, I haven't seen it, I'm like, let me sit you down because we're watching ourselves a movie.
Lucia takes personal offense if someone has not seen something good.
Yeah, no, somebody hadn't seen Kung Fu Panda at Hillsdale, and I was like, movie night tonight.
I did that with Emperor's New Groove. But generally, I'm just like, oh, bummer, and leave. And Lucia's like, no.
I'm taking personal responsibility that everyone around me has a movie education in the classics.
And by classics, she means
cartoon movies from my childhood. But yeah, Gladiator is like a favorite. But there are some other movies that I'm like, I think are more artistic or better cinematography, or like there's or some other ones that I'm like, I think have incredibly nuanced themes, or like, so when you're discussing
but you don't rewatch them
quality, I might turn to something else. But it's a similar thing with novels where there've been novels where I'm like, wow, I really like Crime and Punishment. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. I've read it one time. I've read Going Postal. How many?
I've read Crime and Punishment probably as many times as I've read Going Postal. Maybe more.
That's because you've had multiple classes where you're supposed to read it.
Yep, it's cheating. But yes.
But you'd read it once before the classes, and then once for a class, and then again for a class.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just saying, with my favorite novels, there's going to be a bit of a different answer than when you ask me best novels.
I think Watership Down, I think I would put up there as well. Partially just in how unique it is and how I've never... So I think the way I would rank some of my favorites is if I cannot find something like it.
Bingo.
And that doesn't mean it's always good. Because sometimes it's like, oh, there's a reason there's nothing like this in the world. Because it should not exist. People like that too.
But it is true then where you're like, that beat really hits, but it's a beat that's been hit a lot of times.
Yeah, and it can be great. It can be like a classic beat. There's a reason things end up as
but it
cliches.
Doesn't stand out so much.
Yeah, Watership Down. I don't think I've ever read anything quite like it.
Mm-hmm. It also stands out extremely in its genre. Yeah. Because a genre that's normally very cheap.
So yes, I think I would qualify it as one of my favorite novels.
I feel the same with like Till We Have Faces.
Yeah,
where I really love mythological retellings, theoretically.
But most of them
are garbage and normally really cheap and badly executed and wish fulfillment-y and like all these things. So it's like, for someone who's always really loved mythology, it's hard to find things in that.
Just read the OG myths. That's your solution.
And then Lewis comes up with this like brilliant novel, and I'm like, that stands out. I've never read anything that hits like Till We Have Faces hits.
Yeah, okay. But Watership Down.
But yeah, so
now that we're in agreement that it's a good novel.
It's so good.
Had to make that extremely clear.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's just kick it off with why it stands out then. So the genre is obviously animal books.
Obviously.
And
you say obviously, but I don't know if most people
If you haven't read it, it's an animal book.
It's about bunnies.
And the thing is, I, as a child,
but we swear it's good.
Hated animal books. So if you're not into animal books...
I was less anti.
Yeah, if you're not into that genre, just know that I'm not into that genre either, and I think this is fantabulous. So the animal genre, in my experience, normally falls into like one of two categories. And you get the Redwall category, which is funnily shaped humans.
Yeah.
So they walk around on two legs. They wear outfits.
Have
they
animal
use
characteristics,
swords.
But
yeah, it's just that they're fluffy. They're fluffy people. And so it's obviously not a super deep genre over there. My question as a kid was always, why are they animals then? Make them people. But it can, obviously it serves its purpose. Redwall has gotten lots of little boys reading because they want to read about like badgers with swords or whatever it is.
And you can't bash the animal genre as a whole. Because...
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's one major category. You'll find other books, but it's defined by Redwall.
Another example of that is kind of, slight, like a kind of balance of it is Wind in the Willows.
Mm-hmm. Wind in the Willows is a little more artistic a version of that.
Artistic. It also takes into account animal characteristics, like the water rat and stuff, like they're doing different things. The mole lives underground. Like, it's not completely disregarding the animal part, but they think like people.
They act like people.
They act like people.
They dress like people.
They dress like people.
So it has its values, but it never appealed to little Lucia. And it doesn't appeal to big Lucia.
That would have been weird. You hit 13 and you're like, let's go back to those animal books.
13 is very young to go with that.
72.
And that is a little overcorrection.
I only overcorrect. Never undercorrect.
Anywho's it's. So yeah, that's one category. So it has its higher forms and it has its lower forms, but it's all the weirdly shaped humans is one category. And the other ditch is like, well, ditch is not always, and this one's almost always a ditch, is the warrior cats. So like warrior cats, but there's also the wolf version and the bear version and the horse version and the dragon version, and there's all these versions. And that style is when they're like trying too hard to be animal and they end up doing like a weird tribal thing where they all have dramatic names and rituals and like everyone's named Snowstorm or Dark Fire or like whatever. And it's just, it always hit as so incredibly fake to little me.
To little you.
Little me and current me. Little me had good opinions.
You were a very reliable child.
Yes.
That is
emotionally stoic and rational.
Not the adjective I ever would have chosen.
She had some good thoughts, okay? But anyway, so those are the kind of two main categories of animal books as I see them, is like the clanimals and the fluffy humans.
Yes.
And those are kind of like the main ones.
Yes.
I'm sure there are others.
I think those are
the main
I think those
ones.
are good categories. And then other like things fall within it.
Yeah. And there's better and worse versions in both of those. And Watership Down is neither. So, kicking off strong. The thing is, Watership Down, what they managed to do that I always really enjoyed is the fact that they are convincingly animals and relatably human.
Mm-hmm.
So, they were structured and like their civilization, whatever, their structure, their behaviors, their habits are all distinctly animal. So they've achieved that, but there was no like over dramatizing of it to try to make it feel so other. It's just like they have all of these animal characteristics and behaviors with human minds that we can kind of understand. However, he was very consistent with showing you things through the rabbit's eyes. So you would see things that we would understand and know as people, but you would see it as a rabbit, like cars or roads, where everything is described through the eyes, convincingly through the eyes of an animal. So it kind of hit this in between of it wasn't trying too hard to be other, so it's like perfectly relatable, but fully committing to the animal part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was something that definitely stood out, was just the nature of animal book that it was. Was that like, hey, little me's willing to give this a try?
Yeah, it just gave, I also, part of it is it gives a different, unlike like
I just knocked over my coffee.
Did you spill on yourself?
No, I spilled on the table, but I just wiped it off.
Did you spill on my clothes?
Nope.
Okay. Just thought I'd make sure. See if you owed me a new jacket.
I don't. I did perfect.
Well done, you.
Do you like my scream for distress?
I think one of the ways in which the book manages to demonstrate like the balance between the two categories, it doesn't fit in with the clanimals, which are trying really hard, partially because it gives a perspective of experiences that we actually like recognize. Mm-hmm. So it's not taking you into like
feels real.
Yeah, so it's not like let's explore this whole new world of animals. Like look at all these things you didn't know were going on. Like look at all these like clan discussions and like the tension and the weirdness,
the rituals and all
the rituals.
Things.
It's like and like making up things that we don't see. It's like no, let me take something that you see and put it through the perspective of a rabbit.
And because I commented to you a while ago, it's like one of the things that is achieved both with this, but some other parts of the story as well, is the way that it eases you into it.
Yeah.
So by the end, we've hit some pretty fantastical things.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we've fleshed out the mythology of these bunnies. And
Bunnies
we've
do
had
have
some, like...
myths.
We've had some, like, crazy situations. And, like, the way these bunnies lived have been fleshed out to a point where if you had started with that, it wouldn't be convincing.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, they have a great hall where they tell stories. Like, these are the storytelling creatures. And all of these, like, just things that wouldn't have hit if you'd opened with it. No. But instead, like you said, they open with things that are entirely relatable to us, just from a different perspective. So, kicking us off, there's all the rabbits eating grass. So we're like, yes, rabbits eat grass. And they've got their little warren. So far, so good. And, like, at this point, nothing's really bizarre to us. It's just a group of rabbits living together, as rabbits do. And this area is about to be put under construction. So there's this kind of air of foreboding air over this warren. And we all know what's going on and the rabbits don't, because we understand this human thing and they don't. Mm-hmm. So it starts in this kind of peculiar way of where they're, like, very much rabbits and we're getting more of a human perspective on it. But then by the end, we've actually built into understanding the rabbits. Which feels dumb to say, but it's true. But it's a similar thing with the mythology. You become one with
the rabbits.
It's a similar thing with the mythology. So I think we should kick off with, like, a little plot summary. Go ahead. We can take stops along the route.
You've read this more than I have. You'll be more accurate.
Truth. So we start strong with a Cassandra character. We've got this warren, and our only little fantastical element
at this point.
You might want
to explain for the uneducated.
Oh, no? Are you uneducated?
No, I'm educated. Our audience, not so sure. Okay. They listen to us, so...
I feel like y'all should know who Cassandra is, but I recently said Cassandra to someone and they didn't know what I was talking about, and that was awkward. Cassandra...
Not everyone grew up reading myths.
Is the mythological figure who she rejected Apollo, who is god of prophecy. As you should. And he cursed her with the gift of prophecy, and that no one would ever believe her.
Which is a real bummer.
So she's a figure through the Trojan War, where she can see everything happening, and she's trying to tell everyone, and no one will believe her. Which sounds like just a normal prophet to me.
Yeah, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm like, are we sure that he cursed her with that, or is that just how it normally goes?
That's just prophecy.
I'm pretty sure that's just
prophecy.
But anyway, we start with a Cassandra. So this is Fiver. He's not our main character. He's our main character's little brother, who is this runt of the litter rabbit.
A little bunny.
A little bunny. And he is a dreamer of dreams. And he can feel the air over the warren and death coming when nobody else can, because there's, like, a sign up that says it and nobody can read the sign because they're bunnies, but we can. And Fiver is convinced that they're all going to die if they stay. And the only person who believes this crazy runt is Hazel, his brother. And so Hazel is like, okay, I'll go out on a limb for my brother. And he tries to convince everyone else it doesn't work, so they just take a band and they bounce. Mm-hmm. And so that's the beginning of the little odyssey to find a home, which is Watership Down. Is their eventual home. But that kind of starts, like I said, with just a small fantastical element to a very real story. And that element grows throughout it without ever departing into the realms of, like, full-throttled fantasy. Mm-hmm. Is you've got Fiver, who can see bits of the future. And you have that prophet traveling along with your group. Mm-hmm. And we kind of all fall in and out of believing him through the journey. And throughout this journey, we start establishing the fact that the rabbits are tellers of stories. And they have this prince of legend, who's like the original king of rabbits. El Herrera. I don't know how you say that.
That's
how it's spelled.
Vaguely correct.
And so whenever, like, they're cold and they're scared or they have a stop or, like, whatever, they'll tell little stories. And they've got a storyteller in the group. And he tells little stories of this, which feel very like Brer Rabbit. So they start real petty. Like, this is how I fooled the dog, or like that sort of thing. But by the end of a story, we've built this whole mythology with a god figure and an origin story. And the last story they tell is his death. And
Your
like,
summary has not been very swift.
I'm sorry, babe.
Is it? But I don't remember. Is that
I'm not
like...
I'm not going to tell all the action. I'm just saying that's one of the ways in which they build
Okay,
you
so
up.
this was a side note, not part of the summary.
Well, I wasn't going to give a beat for the whole thing. I said
My
I want to do like a
apologies.
start and a discussion on how it grows.
That's my bad. I was
You want me to
expecting
do like
a
a
beat.
full,
No.
full summary? It's
That's
a fat
probably
book.
completely unnecessary. That's just what I thought was happening, and so I was confused.
Yeah,
My
well,
bad.
anywho,
Sorry.
I was commenting on the fact that like it starts with a small fantastical element and then it builds out the whole mythos in a way that
The mythos is pretty cool too.
It's really cool.
Which you don't
And
expect from like a bunny.
Uh-huh. When you start, you're like, aw, bunnies. And when you end, you're like, oh my gosh, bunnies.
I think that's an accurate representation.
It is. No, you're so emotionally invested in the mythology of the bunnies by the end. It actually is funny because I'm not like, I don't know. I normally make people work for it to get me to care about a story, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's pretty common practice in this day and age to just give them your feelings. Because, you know, it's fun that way, right? Like, it's fun to jump in a story and take an emotional ride.
Sure.
You know, like, a lot of people enjoy that. And so they don't... I've come across a lot of people who do not make authors and, like, directors work for their belief and their investment.
Nah, they just accept every emotion.
They just go, like,
try to
sure.
create.
And they hop in because they're having fun. But I've never been that kind of person. I'm like, I'm going to make you work for it. Like, you got to make me care.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something we've commented on a lot. It's like when we talk about sadness or fear, it's like, you're actually going to have to make me feel it. That's your job. I'm not going to do it for you.
Mm-hmm.
And similarly with stories like this, when we've got all this mythology, I'm normally like, why do I care?
Why
Like,
do you need the myth?
make me.
Yeah.
Like, why do we have this? What does it matter? Like, you're going to have to make me care. I'm not going to do it for you. So with Watership Down, and I'm like, fun story. And by the end, I'm like, congrats.
Nailed it.
You nailed that, because the fact that by the last myth, you're so invested.
Yeah, and I think the way that they did that is, like what you mentioned, is the increasing tension of it. Where, to start with, it was, at least it was the example you gave of what it was like. Wasn't...
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Whatever. It was like
started
very
petty
simple
and small.
stories. Yeah, very like, you know, run away from the wolf, trick the
Oh, yeah, I
fox,
said trick
like,
the dog. That
trick
was
the
my
dog.
example.
Yeah. And by the end, it very much, even though...
The last story is trying to defeat death.
Yes, I feel like I'm contradicting myself because I'm like, but it's actually like bunnies, guys. And then I'm like, okay, but the myth really does well in reflecting like type of human mythology. Like it feels like a real
see, this is why I say
structure.
you're really doing this in between, where you're having them be animals and you're reflecting human nature.
Yeah, human nature, but also human mythology. Like it feels like something, like stories that people would actually tell.
Yeah, it feels real. Which
Yeah,
is
which is
what was
great.
always missing in the Clanimals, was none of it resonated as real. So the fact that we're reading bunnies and you're like, I'm convinced.
Yeah, and one of the ways I think the story did really well in keeping it as bunnies is the absolute lack of commentary about it. It just would say things. So it wasn't like, 'cause we're bunnies, we do it like this, you know?
Yeah, that's always a little rough when you go across that.
We're for like, oh, 'cause we're cats. Because we're dogs. Because, you know, like, no.
It's like,
simply
no, they
would
were just,
state
we're
things.
us.
They're like, oh
That's-
no, so we realize we can't survive if we don't have females. We should probably go get some females.
This is like the great male brain blip of the book, is that they complete this odyssey. They make it through all like this buildup of threats where we start like very petty and they're all wimps and they're all scared out of their minds, and we make it through all of this journey and we make it to the end and they're like, guys, we don't have girls. we didn't bring any girls.
Yeah, but even the way
And they're like, darn it.
the way they talk about it, it's like, oh wait, you need does to start
Start
you
a
know,
warren.
to
Like
start a
they're trying to
warren.
build a warren, and they're like, we forgot the girls.
But there's no commentary about like, oh, the romance, or like, oh, we're rabbits, so we just need to mate and have more rabbits. Like, it's simply like a statement of fact. It's they don't evaluate it in any sense.
Yeah, you never step out of the perspective in a way to like remind you that you're in a weird perspective.
No, it's like, yeah, we know because you'll see when Hazel is the main rabbit's name. And it's a boy named Hazel, by the way. But he's like, I think he's saving other rabbits from a farm. And he gets caught by the cat. And then the little girl who finds him lets him go.
Yeah.
So in that moment, all girls, maybe boys reading it, know what that would be like. They're like, you find a bunny.
They find the bunny.
It's like, oh no, the cat's gonna kill the bunny. Like, oh my gosh. In that little squeaky voice.
Exactly like that.
Yeah, that's my little girl voice. Hell no. But even in that moment, it's like you can understand the human perspective because you're a person, hopefully.
We're not sure, like, probably.
Probably, odds are. But it just keeps you within his perspective entirely.
Yeah. He's seeing little girl as a bunny.
It's a really good balance. It's an interesting book, I think.
Yeah, so it strikes, I think, a lot of things that are kind of tricky to get right. So yeah, I commented on, like...
I think it's a hard line to walk, and I think that's one of the reasons we dislike so many animal books. It's not like they're all bad. Especially the sorry, I interrupted you, but the animals acting as people. I really don't, like... It might not be our jam, but mostly I don't see a problem with it. Like, I don't think there's necessarily anything bad with that type of story.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't think Redwall's necessarily, like, a bad book.
It's evil. Yeah.
It's like, no, I didn't particularly enjoy Redwall. But we only had one book, and I read that one book. So...
Yeah. But I just think it's, like, so it strikes a good balance in terms of the animal genre.
Yeah.
It has a great buildup of mythology and build up in terms of tension of the story in order to get you to feel it all as real. I already commented a little on the prophecy, which I think having the gift of prophecy in it really is a fun element for expanding some of the human nature. Because how humans relate to prophecy is always really funny.
Yeah. Not funny in the moment.
No.
In the moment, it's like,
but like
idiots.
that's a continuous strain through the book, is because they always have Fiverr. So it's like, do we listen to them or not? And in a very human fashion, they don't always.
Yeah, the fun thing about that is I think it's also a very animal fashion. It's like, I mean, obviously I'm not, in the bunny's head, actually. But there's a sense of, like, an animalian sense of not...
It's hard to think of the future.
Yeah, of not, like, just being in the present. And not thinking past that. So and you can
say that's a pretty animal part of humans. Because, like, to be a human is to be eternal. Like, that's what we ultimately will be. But this animal part of us is the mortal part that just lives in the moment and doesn't want to think to the future.
Yeah, but even part of the thinking to the future is the animal, like, wanting safety and security in the future. And so not risking. So, in that sense, I think Fiverr is a very interesting character. Because he always knows feels what's coming. But he also doesn't have anything concrete to say about it.
Yep. Because frequently for him, it's just a feeling. And so when you feel, whether you're animal or human, when you feel just incredibly safe, you don't really want to listen to someone who's just bad vibes.
Yeah, they're just like,
they're just like,
dude.
Bad vibes. We need to move. We need to take on danger again because something is going to go wrong, I swear. And they can't tell you anything more than that. And you're like, I have a full belly and a comfy bed. What is your problem?
Yeah,
like,
but
you're ruining the vibe.
But part of the reason I love, especially at the beginning when Fiverr is doing that, is every single reader of the book knows he's right.
Yep.
And so it gives you this example in an animal context of all these people who feel safe and secure and are not listening to the one person who thinks, like, no, something is wrong. And they all feel safe and secure, but everyone watching knows 110% that it is not. And I think that
It
can
is
be a
not
very
safe.
human scenario as well. It's like, regardless of how safe and secure you feel, like, it might be extremely obvious that you're actually not.
Yeah.
To
From a
any
different
outsider.
perspective.
From a different perspective.
Yeah,
Which
so
I
it's like
like.
you can't fully judge off of your own feelings any situation because
To be
other
honest,
people have a
like,
different angle on it.
the other rabbits, like, they can read the sign. Like, they'd lived there for ages. Like, why would they, they had no good reason to believe Fiverr, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and yet
he was right.
So there was a good reason to believe him.
Yes,
because being right is a pretty good reason.
The strain of prophecy is a fun one and an interesting one to kind of think about it. But another theme that I really like through it, which is another one that's kind of hard to put your finger on sometimes, is leadership. So the interesting thing here that sometimes leadership can be incredibly simple in a story. But leadership itself as a theme is not so simple. There's just an easy way out.
Mm-hmm.
And Watership Down does not take that easy way out. So through the book...
Sorry, what would you say the easy way out is?
Well, I'm gonna get there.
I'm not patient.
Easy way out is strongest person leads.
Yeah.
Or birthright. Like, those are two easy ways out. It's like, I the king. I was born the king. I stay the king.
Which isn't necessarily always bad, but yeah.
No, but it's a very simple way to do it. It's just, this is my liege. I am his vassal.
My lord.
Yeah, like,
Bow.
so that's a pretty easy way to do it.
Yeah.
Is through an objective structure. Another easy way to do it is he's the strongest guy around. So,
yeah.
Like, leading through that way. And that's a pretty common one to do in places that are more violent. Like, stories that are more violent. So, like, Gladiator, it's a large dose of he's just the strongest. Like, he's also got this leadership energy. But
got the aura.
He got the aura. He's an aura farmer.
Got the vibes. Yeah.
But he proved that through strength.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not bad because obviously I adore that. And you could add more elements to that. Another one is just he's the smartest. So essentially, I guess, superlatives is the easy way to do leadership. He is the most whatever. He is the most royal. He's the most strong. He's the most smart. Like, whatever it is. The superlative.
Extra emphasis on that T.
Yeah. The superlative is the leader. But that's actually not all, like, the case. So there's potential for more nuance in that category. But most people, understandably, take the superlative route, which is totally fine and can be awesome. But it's not always the case. And Watership Down is one that does not take that. So through the book, Hazel is the leader. And Hazel is not the biggest. He is not the strongest. He is not the smartest.
Who's the smartest?
He's got,
Fiverr?
like, well...
Or is there, like,
he's got
a
two options. He's got a
strategist.
He's got a strategist, and he has Fiverr.
Okay.
So he is strong. He is smart. He is big. Like, he actually does have those, but he's not the superlative of any of those. Bigwig is stronger. Fiverr knows... Fiverr, he's a G. Fiverr knows more what's going on. I don't know if it's... I want to say Dandelion, but, like, he's got
Dandelion. That is a character.
Dandelion's the best storyteller, but I can't remember if he's the strategist or not. Like, and, like, so he's got a lot of good qualities, but he's got none of the superlatives, and yet he is definitively the leader.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of tension about that at the beginning, as there should be. Because when he's just at the beginning, he's basically a baby rabbit. Like, he's the biggest young rabbit.
But he's not an adult bunny.
He's like a yearling or something. I don't know. He's a little rabbit. And he's the one who goes, let's go. And takes people with him. And he takes several soldiers, including Bigwig, who is like the strongest little warrior bunny. Big, intimidating,
That
strong.
sounds so dumb.
I know it does. Y'all gotta trust. Just
Gotta trust.
gotta trust.
It's actually so good.
But so there's kind of tension at the beginning because it's like if Fiver knows what's going on and other people are smarter and Bigwig is stronger, shouldn't we be following? And the biggest contestant is Bigwig. Shouldn't we be following Bigwig?
Yeah.
Like, that would be the most rational animal way to do it, is he's the strongest.
It's funny that you put those two descriptives in one sentence.
What?
Rational animal?
Well,
most rational and the most both. Animal.
Yeah, because it's most rational on the most surface level thing.
Yeah, I wasn't disagreeing with you. I just thought that was
we love a rational animal. Our
not
dogs
man.
Are not it.
I don't agree. Is that Aristotle, the definition of man as a rational animal? I'm like, what were you
You're
on?
like, what? Man is
There's
not
a book
very
that talks
rational.
about that, and I don't remember what the book is, so...
One of my favorite recurring one of my favorite recurring philosophy jokes is the behold a man at any featherless biped.
Behold. I remember the book. I think it's Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. I never finished it, but
oh, I remember that existing.
She writes, I think, whoever defined man as a rational animal gave the most premature definition ever. Like,
real.
Mm-hmm. I think we've proved through history that we are not, in fact, rational.
Yeah.
Anything
You're not wrong.
but.
Anything but.
Sorry.
But
that was off topic.
Yeah. Anywho, just thinking of leadership. So it's like a question through the book is like, why is Hazel the leader?
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually kind of hard to put a finger on it, but when you read it, you know he is. And like at the beginning, it's kind of because he is the one who believes Fiver.
I think there are different qualities that they develop for him through the book.
Yeah.
And one of them is based on that, which is he knows...
Well, that's the first one.
Yes. And it's like, he knows who to trust.
Mm-hmm.
His instincts, I wouldn't call it delegation necessarily, but...
He does do really good delegation.
But it's partially just delegation. Like, man knows who to go to.
Yeah.
And he also just goes to action.
Yep.
Like...
That's part of it, is he is just very quick to action through the book. And, like, one of his only major mistakes in the book is a lack of action. Yeah. And then one other mistake is too quick to action. But that actually is part of the completion of his growth into the total leader of this now growing Warren, is the fact that he has to fully delegate now. And there's limits to how much he should be doing himself because he's too valuable to risk. So,
yeah. But I think he recognizes who's like he recognizes both the people who are correct and the correct moments.
Yep.
And knows when to move.
Mm-hmm. So like it's pretty simple. Of like you just put him behind the chessboard. It's like the reason Bigwig can't be the leader is because Hazel's moving him.
And even the strategist, it's like
Hazel's moving him. And, like, the only piece that's kind of out of his control is Fiver.
Yeah.
But Fiver still appeals to Hazel.
Yeah, that's the role of a prophet for a king.
Yep. The person you're not supposed to control. And he tries, sometimes. And it's just like, you can't.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so it's just this very interesting dynamic as you watch this character who's none of the superlatives grow into a really good leader.
Yeah, willingness to take risks and also tendency towards self-sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
Is also
yeah,
good.
I think like knowing who to trust and who to trust with what is a very powerful instinct. Very deliberate delegation. Very quick to action. And very quick to self-sacrifice.
It's also interesting because I don't think it was ever like a super conscious choice.
Oh, yeah, no, he wasn't really elected.
No.
And he didn't elect himself.
No, he
just went. And at some point, very late in the book, I think, they just started calling him by the title. So the way these rabbits did it, and this is another thing that I found kind of fun, is the author made little vocab that are bunny-specific. Bunny vocab. But to refer to things that we either don't have or they wouldn't use our names. So they have a word for cars. I can't remember it. Something like laundry or something. something weird starts with an E, I'm sure. But
They're monsters, so.
Yeah, no, but like they would see cars, but they wouldn't know what a car is, so they need a different word for it. Right? Or they have a name for grazing. Like we're going out to graze. Because that's a term that we don't really need in the same way.
I should have that term.
Yeah, but like it's a specific type of like going out to graze kind of thing.
I'm gonna word
so
for
like
grazing.
I'm just saying they have little bits of vocab that they kind of slowly dribble in through
Yeah.
the book.
And it's not forced.
Not at all.
They do it very naturally. It's not like what's that book? Maze Runner.
Oh yeah,
whatever.
Maze Runner, where he makes up all the curse words because he's Mormon.
And you're just like, oh, you're trying so hard.
That's not a curse word, Betty. But yeah, I've come across some very forced vocab in books. And some very good vocab. Like Dune has great, Lord of the Rings has great, obviously. And this one, weirdly, has great vocab for the bunnies. But one of the terms they have is they add the title Ra, like hyphen R-A-H to the end of a name of the chief of a warren. So it's just at some point they start calling Hazel Ra. And so like there was never an election. He never tried to do anything. There wasn't like there was tension a little at the beginning, but there was never really a ton of explicit discussion. And they just started doing it. And he just assumed the role.
Mm-hmm.
And the last, I think when they first did it, Bigwig did a little like, rah, the heck? Like, what you calling him? And then in the very immediate future, he was calling him Chieftain too. And it's just, it was also interesting, especially at the very end, not the very end, pretty much the end, they come across another warren that does it by the rational animal way. It is purely by strength.
Oh, that's like the militaristic one,
yeah.
right?
See, this is the sort of thing where if you started with this, we would not have believed it. It's like a super militaristic, like fascist state of bunnies. So if we had kicked off with, here is my little fascist bunny, we'd be all like, no.
The problem is, anyone who's watching this who has not, or listening, has not read it.
I told you, trust. Okay.
You are being kicked off with, there are fascist bunnies in this book.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it doesn't start you with that. We get there. But they come to this, like, very militaristic bunny warren. Because this is after they go, like, oh, wait, we have no girls. They find out that there's another warren. They find out there's another warren that is overfull. So they go like, oh, great, we can make friends with the warren and they can send us some girls and it'll be like, we'll help them with their overcrowding problem and it'd be great. Not so, because they're fascist bunnies.
That could be the quote of the week.
Say that.
Not so for their fascist bunnies.
Real.
Let's just say that throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of context.
But yeah, so this warren does it through the strictly strength. Their hierarchy is purely strength. And Bigwig goes to infiltrate them. And the reason that this is funny is because for the first time in a very long time, actually maybe the first time in the book,
ever?
Really, we see Hazel from other people's perspective. So this entire time we've been following Hazel and Hazel growing and Hazel doing things and we're all like, yep, leader Hazel.
Go, Hazel,
and
go.
The military bunnies get very scared of Bigwig because he's a tough guy.
Because he's a big wig.
And he's scary. Mm-hmm. So this is why the cartoon movie is not acceptable for children. Because these are violent bunnies. And Bigwig is very scary. And they go to attack Watership Down. Spoilers. It'll still be fun to read regardless. And I didn't spoil all the mythology, or all of these like island stops on their odyssey. No, I didn't.
You said what happened at the end of the mythology.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I know I did, but I didn't say it all. I just gave
You just said he died. That's kind of a spoiler.
Didn't I say he goes to try to like beat death?
You said he died.
Did I? I'm pretty sure Ameera said that. It's Ameera's spoiler.
No. Continue.
I said he fought death, didn't I?
I'm pretty sure you said he died.
Sure he's fighting death.
Or maybe I just took that as he died.
Anywho, it'll still be fun to read, but Warren goes, this evil Warren goes to attack our good boys. And they meet Bigwig. And their general, I do think they call him the general, which is funny, he's like trying to convince Bigwig to surrender. And Bigwig's like, I will not give up before my chieftain says so. And they all freak the heck out. Because Bigwig is scary. And they're like, what do you mean there's a scarier bunny than Bigwig?
Hold
it's
up,
like,
there's
oh
a bigger
dear. And
one?
everybody is like, should we like give up? Because like, if someone defeated this guy, are we sure that we can take him? And then but at that point, I'm pretty sure they've already seen Hazel. Because Hazel delivered a message.
They
were
like, thought he was like a messenger bunny.
Because at this point, Hazel had already been through a lot and he's injured. So he was a small rabbit with a limp, but strange poise.
Yeah, I think that was the description.
Yeah. So it's like this strangely, like, he's facing down a bunny army. It's funny to add all these words to bunny. But he's facing a literal bunny army and, like, the scariest rabbit to date, which is
it's like
horrifying.
technically you could say rabbit, but bunny's kind of
Bunny's
more
funnier.
fun.
But the whole point about the general, though, is that he's not a normal rabbit.
Yeah.
Like, he's a fight to the death kind of thing, so he doesn't act like prey. Which is why everybody's scared of him.
Yeah.
Because he's a crazy bunny. Like, there's a rumor he'd fought a dog before. He's so scary.
Yeah.
But it's like Hazel's come down to talk to the scariest bunny in the book, surrounded by his army. And it's just chill. And they're like, who is this strange bunny with a limp? Though I can't remember if that was Hazel. I think it was Hazel. I feel like Fiverr was like passed out at this point, right? It wasn't Fiverr.
Probably. I think it was Hazel, and that's another quality we could add to him, is his just sense of calm.
Yep. Boldness and calm. But it was just funny because you get this...
Qualities that don't always go together.
It's just that through this entire book, you've had almost no explicit commentary on leadership. You've had like 2 times where we've made like specific note of this, where it was first like, who's in charge, Bigwig or Hazel? And then later we have like Hazel Raw, and it's like, what? Who are you calling Hazel Raw? And then you have this at the very end, which is just suddenly we have very explicit commentary on the dynamic. Because we've changed perspectives, where strength is not the defining quality. And they wouldn't have won if it was Bigwig. Mm-hmm. Like, we would have had a sad ending to our bunny book.
Which would have been kind of funny, actually.
It would have, huh? But
it's just like, I just read a bunny book that was tragic.
It's just interesting to take something that's normally a very, like, lower end or just fairy tale quality genre, that is animal books, which is as frequently like grade school popcorn, and you take that genre and you go like, no, I'm not going to take the easy way out, I'm going to do like a much more nuanced discussion of leadership and hierarchy.
I feel like it was probably a very difficult book to write correctly. I mean, it's a weird type of world building where you're within our world, but just in a different one. So, I mean, it's a cool book. I also think that its exploration of, like, fear and cowardice.
Yep. It has that, too.
It's good. I mean, because we already talked about at the beginning, like, just the fear of change when you're in a place that feels secure. Mm-hmm. But then even when you go back to, like, the end of the book with the overfilled Warren, the militaristic one with the general.
Yeah.
And all of their fear of him, when it's like, in reality, that was one bunny.
Or there's the other Warren, which is basically, I won't give a ton of details because this one's quite the creepy deek. You should definitely read it.
Oh, that one was great.
That one is also embroiled in fear. But, like,
yes,
a very bizarre fear.
And
but
rabbits,
it really demonstrated fear as a prison. Very
rabbits is
very
just
Pilgrim's Progress, right?
Yeah,
Castle of Despair. You have the key. Chill. Okay.
But rabbits are a really good way of exploring it because they're known as such fearful creatures.
Yeah.
Like, they're so their instinct is always
this
to
is
run
probably
away.
why he picked rabbits.
Yeah, so it's like you have this creature that's supposedly always in fear. Mm-hmm. But then through the book, he explores different types of fear and the proper response to it through bunnies. And it's like, dang, You did that.
Flex.
Well done, you.
But I just want to say another comment on how you said that Hazel's leadership qualities is like seeing people, like seeing people's strength.
Sight, yeah.
And their use and seeing the moment. He very much does that. Another thing that he does that no other bunny does in the book is he makes friends with other animals. So that's another thing that like makes him distinct is he sees other animals as opportunities for allies. Where like everyone else is living in this bunny state of fear. Where it's like we just keep to our own. And he's
one
like,
of the few rabbits that's not scared.
Yeah. He's very quick to be like, what if this gave me something, though? Like, what if we could do something with this? And so he makes friends with, like, a mouse, helps a mouse out.
A bird.
Helps a bird out, a seagull. And, like, just through these little acts of just not being afraid and not being timid and seeing potential in people, that very much led to their eventual victory. But yeah, I really like the character of Hazel because of the fact that he's so definitively a true leader without any superlatives.
He also really reflects, I think, the mythology of their, like, first bunny.
Yep.
Because it's interesting because the bunny, he's kind of divine for them, I guess.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call him the bunny god, but he's kind of...
No, because there is a god.
There's a god.
Very much God. But he then has this... It feels like kind of a blend between some biblical figures. It's a little Adam, a little David.
Little Adam, little David, but it's
a little messianic.
Yeah. But it's like this bunny mythological figure, right?
King.
Yeah, this bunny king. One of his main characteristics was actually almost recklessness and his absolute lack of fear.
Which is so unbunny.
That their legendary bunny is like the opposite of what a bunny is known for.
Oh, I also, just in terms of the mythology being well done, I love some of the phrasing of some of the mythology. Because one of the many tales they tell through the book, because they revisit the myths a lot, as I tell you, it's like it kind of builds up, is they do the kind of creation myth. But it's like creation myth in quotes because it's kind of everyone's the same and they all approach God, or I feel like it's Frith or something. Is it Frith?
That actually sounds right. But I don't know. Maybe
but
not.
They're God. And he gives them their qualities.
That they ask for, right?
Like, well, the animals' qualities. What they should have. And El Herrera, I believe, had just recently made trouble. So he's kind of hiding. And at that point, the bunnies had been kind of like dominating the earth. And El Herrera is so reckless and so selfish and all of these, like, and so clever and all of these things that Frith is like, he needs trials. Like, we need trials for these bunnies that are like filling the earth. And so he goes through the predators and he's giving them all like sharp teeth and like claws and and a hunger for bunnies. And when he finally finds El Herrera, he gives him his feet.
And
he calls him El Herrera, the Prince of 1,000 Enemies. And that's their mythological figure, which is just super cool. The Prince of 1,000 Energies.
Everyone's trying to kill it. Say that again?
And that's Prince of 1,000 Enemies.
Okay, I heard you wrong.
What could you possibly have heard?
Energies?
No, enemies.
I was like...
You're like, that's
no.
wrong. Okay.
Close, but no.
So I believe, like, in that situation, he calls him, well, El Herrera, the Prince of 1,000 Enemies. Everyone will be seeking to hurt you. Everyone will be seeking to eat you, but first they must catch you.
So
and the whole point
bunny's
is
mythological figure is like, everyone will try to kill you.
But they won't be able to. Is kind of the thing. So it's like the Prince of 1,000 Enemies who cannot be caught. And Hazel can definitely feel like that, as he very much stands alone in a lot of ways.
You know, we were saying this wasn't overly dramatic, but
it's so overly dramatic.
It is. It's just, I like it.
No, the point is, it's The point is it's different.
It's well
so
done.
the Warrior Cats
I know,
version,
I'm kidding.
I'm just saying the Clanimals.
I fully
is where
stand by
you're-
everything that we already said. We have said
the
nothing
Clanimals,
false.
you've got the try-hard that doesn't resonate, like dramatic speak. Watership Down, you don't have any dramatic speak for like forever other than from Fiverr, who's like death, blood, all that stuff, you know?
Yes. But he's right, so it's okay.
He's right, so it's fine, but it does get very high stakes and dramatic by the end. But Hazel's very much that prince of 1,000 enemies and just is fearless. And he has a very similar end of his story to El Herrera in the fact that El Herrera, the one who is like, you are reckless, you are selfish, but you are clever, and like the one who cannot be caught, his final myth is about surrendering himself. So it's like no one could catch you, but you could give yourself up in that kind of self-sacrifice move, which is what Hazel does. I mean, like, Hazel doesn't die, but, well, doesn't die at this point. Bunnies die eventually. They're mortal. But
True.
Ameera's like, news to me.
I mean, if they weren't mortal,
That would be
the
wild.
world would be
It'd
overrun.
be full of bunnies. See, that's what Frith thought. He's like, we need to kill some of these bunnies because that's a lot of bunnies.
Nerf these rabbits. Because, man,
But
they
yeah,
multiply
so-
fast.
Hazel, the one who's managed to evade every trial that's come his way and help his people do so too, kind of comes to a point where he's like, there's an answer if only I put myself at risk. Which is great. And they kind of, so it really has that kind of reflection of their mythological figure with the completion. So I think that's cool.
Yeah. So, in conclusion,
In
Good
conclusion, we like the bunny book.
it's a good bunny book, and it's kind of surprising. It's kind of long. I don't remember how long it is.
It's fat.
It's chunky.
Chunky monkey.
Chunky bunny, actually, but
Chubby bunny.
chubby. There we go. But it's a good book, and it's kind of a surprisingly good book because it's a very unique take
Mm-hmm.
on the animal story. That, I mean, has good lessons for people.
Yeah.
While still keeping them rabbits.
I believe I told Dad that it's like, I can remember off the top of my head 3 books that have made me sad.
Cool.
One is Watership Down from the ending, but also like a little before the ending. Where it's like, I'm not the cry over a book type, but I had some heartstrings tugged. Where I'm like, oh,
The rabbits.
the bunnies. But yeah, I'm like 3 in memory, and basically no movies.
What were the other
but
2?
I was gonna say that
I don't remember anything.
the
about
end
what I read.
of Return
It's
of
all
the
gone.
King.
Fair.
So Frodo's ending
I know, it's sad.
kind of
Frodo's
tugged
great.
at my heartstrings. Well, I already gave a defense of Frodo on SAS.
Yes, I know. I was just
Forever ago, but I'm just saying, like,
acknowledging the fact that people who don't think Frodo's great,
justice for
You're the
Frodo.
problem. they're the problem. I'm sorry.
I've heard so many people do the like, Sam is the hero of Lord of the Rings, and I'm
No.
like, Frodo is. Shut the heck up.
Okay, Return of the King.
Anywho, so
Watership
end of
Down.
Watership Down, end of Return of the King, and then the third Outlaws of Time.
Okay, no, fair.
That was so fair. Because this is the thing, is we've talked before, and we'll have to like hop off in a sec, but we've talked before about how one of the hardest hitting things you can do is when you give a character their out of character moment. So there's several ways of doing it, but like, you know, like there's the person who's happy-go-lucky and they wear their heart on their sleeve, and so they cry, they laugh, all of this, and then you have the moment where they just don't wear an expression at all.
And they're like poker face.
And it's just like, there's nothing behind their eyes. And you're like, my baby.
Yeah.
My Shayla.
Sure.
No, but it's like, it
Yeah,
hits
no, I
a
get
lot
it.
harder than having them cry. Similarly, you
Because
have
they
this-
always cry.
Yep. And so contrast can make things hard hitting. So like the stoic character who's always like, I don't care about anything. When they cry, that hurts
You're like,
everybody's
"Ooh."
feelings.
Yeah.
Especially the longer you build up without doing it, the harder hitting it is.
Mm-hmm.
So Outlaws of Time, spoiler alert, in Atlas of Time 3, Spec dies.
Not
and
fully.
Fully for a bit.
For a bit, but not permanently.
Spec dies. There's like a collision of timelines, and Spec dies. And Cindy's alive. And so Cindy has been a little twerp and a murderous thing for the last 2 3/4 books.
Mm-hmm.
We're just full of nothing but hatred for all things that are alive.
Including Spec.
She's like the idiot. But when Spec dies, she freaks out.
Oh, no.
And Cindy is screaming like, live.
Like,
or like, open
him.
your eyes, and like trying to nudge him and trying to wake him up.
We're just like,
and I'm just like, ah!
Like,
Cindy, no!
No.
I'm like,
do
why
this
are
to me.
you just like, Dad? Why are you hurting my feelings over rattlesnakes?
Unfair.
But yeah, so I'm like very few things, cool. But I'm just saying like similarly you've got that contrast where Lord of the Rings, it was because of the fact that Frodo has held a burden for so incredibly long and then ends without any acknowledgement of any kind and no place to call home. Like I believe a metaphor my dad's used is like when you leave your shoes in the middle of a field for a year, you come back, they don't fit. It's like that was Frodo. He came back and it didn't fit anymore. And nobody really cared or wanted to help, but couldn't help even if they wanted to. And like, it was just this sad but very true feeling of like coming back empty. Mm-hmm. But he still should have done it. So there's that. And then the Watership Down is like, it's very much the recklessness of El Herrera when it finally meets this like way more sober tone. It just hits very different when we've just had this like flippant and reckless and joking and like, and suddenly it's like, mm-hmm. It's not so funny anymore. And you're just like, okay.
It's like, okay, it's not fun anymore, Dad. Yeah. It's a good book, though.
So yeah, we recommend you should read it. You should tell us your thoughts.
Which age group would you recommend it for?
Humans.
Yeah, but like how young can you go?
How long?
I wasn't talking about old. You can read it till you're like 96, and then I feel like I probably
read it in like 5th grade for the first time.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's probably less dependent on content because it's not. While there's a lot of like toughness and violence, it's not gratuitous at all. Like, so it's not like there's any content that's inappropriate for kids. It's more like reading level. It's a fat book.
Can you make it through it? If you can make it through it,
as soon as you're old enough to make it through it, you're probably old enough to read it. So, any last thoughts or ready to sign off?
No thoughts.
Okay.
We're good.
Peace out, everybody.